Okay, so for this tutorial, we want to find the derivative of f of x and state the domain for both f and the derivative of f. And so the first thing we want to do is write f of x in a more simpler method. By having it in this form, we can use a chain rule very effectively. And so when we use a chain rule, we will get, for the outside terms, 1/2 parentheses 5 minus 2x. And then we would have on the outside 1/2 minus 1 to give us negative 1/2 times, now we do the derivative of the inside. 5 would be 0, but negative 2 exponent x would produce negative 2 exponent x ln 2. Okay, so now we're gonna write it in a more simpler way. Having it in this form will allow us to determine the domain in a more manageable method. And so when we get the domain of f, we will look at this. And we will first write it as the square root of 5 minus 2 exponent x, which is the equivalent of this. And what we know for square roots is that you can't have a negative square root. And so we know it must be greater than or equal to 0. You can have a 0 square root, so it can be equal to 0. And by doing so, you would have 5 minus 2 exponent x would be greater than or equal to 0. Then you can add 2x here, add 2x here. This would produce this. And now we simply do the log. We get a log 2. This would cancel out the 2, and you just have the x. And if you do log 2, you'd have to do it also on this side. That's why we have log 2, 5. And now for the domain of the derivative of f of x. Having it in this form, we can see that you have a square root on the denominator, and you can't have a 0 for the denominator. So we know for a fact that it would have to be the same as this, but it cannot equal 0 because you cannot have a 0 in the denominator. So the domain for f derivative of x would be log 2, 5. And that's all you need to do.